Well, here we go. Good evening from camera. We are sitting here with the champion Anny Malo, who has done 4 in a row so far this year, won 4 stages, and also with Jake Robinson. Jerry, I let you take it away with some questions.
Okay. Good evening, Jake. Jake, you're from Bemidji, Minnesota. Is that correct?
That is correct. Home of Paul Bunyan.
All right. Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm glad you could come back this year. Are you still running 14 strong dogs, or how's your team?
Yeah. We had a dog come up sore after yesterday's run where we had some trouble off trail. The vet team has done a phenomenal job though, and he should be back in our pool here shortly. Other than that, everyone's looking pretty good, and that's really the key to this race is managing that pool effectively and keeping dogs sound and healthy so you can be resting athletes on chosen days.
That sounds like a quick study there. Well done. Yeah, and you jumped from 13th to 5th for the day. I mean, you have to be happy about that.
Yeah, we had a pretty challenging run yesterday, primarily related to the weather conditions, the high winds and whiteout visibility. We had some issues where we were off trail and stopped for a significant amount of time. And after that, we felt we kind of had to pivot our race strategy a little bit and make a move today. You know, I didn't feel like I overran my dog team, but we needed to have a very consistent, steady, and effective run. I was able to execute that. I didn't think it was going to go quite that well, if I'm being honest, but I did need to make some time and get back into this dog race.
Yeah, it's time to roll the dice. You know, you only have 3 days left. Yeah, and aside from moving 13th to 5th for the day, you also went from 11th to 8th overall. I mean, that's where all the goodies are right there. So congratulations to you on a great run today. How did you get into dogs?
So we had a neighbor who was a recreational musher and was friends with the former author Gary Paulson, who wrote books like The Hatchet and books about running the Iditarod that I read when I was a kid. When Gary got back into dogs, he had a couple that weren't making his team that he gave to me. And shortly after that, I linked up with Ed and Amy Streeper and helped them for a number of years. And I spent 5 years on the road with Eddie, traveling and racing his open team. And that's where I really learned a lot and got inspired to start my own kennel.
Well, great. That's quite a good upbringing there. How about your kennel size? Tell us about your kennel.
We typically maintain around 36 adults and then litter of pups per year. Smaller kennel, just with my professional obligations, having a smaller kennel size really allows me to focus on each athlete and develop dogs individually.
Well, that's a plenty big kennel just for one person. I know from experience, so hats off to you for that. Anybody you would like to thank at home?
I'd like to thank my partner, Shelby Spry. I'd like to thank my handler, Sam Spry. He's with us here today, and all our fans and supporters back home.
There you go. Congratulations. You've got quite a few of them. What did you learn from last year, just off the top of your head?
Lots. How to handle the logistics and how to manage the team and how to manage the pool, and also a little bit more about what we're looking for in training. We made some intentional decisions this year as far as how we train for this race. Whereas last year I really felt I needed all the miles I could get. So I was doing a lot of long runs on the quad before our weather was really conducive to effective sled training. This year I waited until we had the conditions to do my long runs and focused on effective miles rather than just miles for the sake of miles. And my good friend, Hans Gatt, said something when we were in West Yellowstone last week that really kind of stuck with me. And he said that speed is power. You know, a lot of times in this race, we think we need all this power to get up these hills, to get up these mountains. What I learned last year is that momentum is more important, being able to maintain that momentum and regain that momentum, more importantly. So there's actually a lot of my big, powerful, strong dogs that are back home, still training and ready to rejoin our open team for later in the season.
Well, that's great. A great words of wisdom for anybody else that's thinking about joining this race here. So what you're basically saying is quality over quantity works for you.
As far as miles go, that was one big decision that I made this year. Last year I had 20 some miles that were 20 or runs that were 20 miles or longer on the quad. This year we approach that differently.
Okay, great. What's the rest of your race season going to look like?
Hopefully we'll go to the Paw, Manitoba for the World Championship Sled Dog Derby there, 335-mile heats right there in the Paw. And then after that, our focus will turn to getting ready for the Open North American.
What fun, what fun. Well, congratulations on a great day and good luck in the next couple of days. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Jerry.
Bastian?
So Annie,
Yeah,
you must be happy with your training.
well, yeah, my training, you mean the training I had all time?
Yeah,
Yeah, we were able to, even with the warm weather, we were able to, do what dogs were supposed to do. So do all the mileage, and actually we're a little bit up on mileage than we had last year. So it's really good. And I think it's kind of show up, in the race that dogs are strong and they can go long distance without any problem.
well, especially looking at the fact that two of your teams are doing that.
Yeah,
I
well,
mean, twice now, even Cassie has been faster than Lena.
Yeah,
So, I mean, so in two stages, both of your teams have been on the top. So that's pretty impressive.
yeah, but the difference between this year and last year is that when Elliott's he was racing, he had mostly yearlings, and this year we decided to pull out the yearlings. We were. It's good to do Wyoming for them, but I think we prefer to keep them a little bit shorter. They did all the training runs, but we felt that it was better for them to stay a little bit shorter on the race. So this year, Kathy's got all adult dogs. They're 2 years old, some 3, and some dogs that I had last year. So she got a better team, but she's a super good musher too. She raced 6 dogs in Quebec, and she win most of the race, and she know how to drive a team. So I think you can see it.
So by now you're about 18 minutes ahead.
Mm-hmm.
How does it make you feel? Do you start thinking about being a little more conservative, or do you keep on like, nah, let's go out as hard as you can?
Well, I'm always on the brake with that. Anything can happen in the race. You can have problems like, this year I think I had more problems than all the race last year in 4 stages. We went out of the trail yesterday. I got tangled in the loop today. I had other problems on the other stage. So you never know. So yeah, it's a good gap. I mean, 18 minutes, it's a really good gap, but I don't know, anything can happen. So I prefer to drive my dogs like, I would do anyway. So I won't pace them at 13 miles an hour because, but sure, I'm not pushing them. That's for sure. I'm just, I let them go the pace that they're trying to do, but I'm not pushing them.
It's actually pretty impressive to see them loping up some of those hills. I mean, I see you all snow covered riding your bike in the flats, and then the hills come and they really put it on. I never had a dog team like that, so that's really, really impressive.
Yeah, it's so nice to feel the power. You like that big hill on our way out to the loop. They were loping at 16 miles an hour, going up.
So you had caught up to Lena, I think at mile 13 when I saw you.
Yeah.
And then you say you lost her again in the loop,
Yeah.
and then you re-caught up. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And then you passed her. Didn't you pass her in the flats?
When I passed her, she was switching dogs, but I was behind her for a while. I was not, going to pass her because I didn't really need it. But she switched dogs, so I passed her.
Well, I wish you both good luck for tomorrow.
Thank you.
This is already a little longer than I had planned, but it's all good. Thanks for taking the time, and see you tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock, Masha's meeting. The boss is sitting over there.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
You go.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow afternoon.
That's right.